Hello, Franklin sports fans. And on a sunny but windy day at Franklin High School, welcome back to Varsity Field for this latest girls varsity soccer matchup, where your Franklin Panthers are about to take on the visiting KP Warriors. This is going to be a big match for the Panthers, who come into this game with a record of 11-1, with their sole loss being to the KP Warriors by a score of 2-1. And KP comes into this game with a record of 11-2, with their two losses being to non-league teams, Hingham and Bishofian, respectively. The Hingham game being a loss of 2-1, and Bishofian being a loss of 2-0. So we are in for a big match here between your Franklin Panthers and the KP Warriors. And Franklin, having come into a big game on Tuesday, I believe, and taking that game by a score of 2-0. 3-0, actually, my mistake. This is going to be a big matchup for both teams. A bit windy here at Varsity Field, but that's to be expected for almost mid-October weather. And the Panthers will start off with the ball. So Franklin just moving the ball around initially, keeping it away from their KP offenders. Franklin in a little bit of traffic right there. KP trying to kick it away. That pass is going to inadvertently go out of bounds, so KP ball. Throw in, more specifically. And a good throw in, but it goes to a Franklin player. Good boot up the center of the field. Left center field, I should say. And Franklin chasing this ball down. This looks to be Kelly O'Connor with the ball right here. Can't quite see the team number on her jersey. It's number 13, Cassidy Carmignani. A bunch of head balls going on right now. Franklin with possession as they continue to move it up the far side of the field, but they were nearly double teamed there. And a ball that's deflected off out of bounds by Franklin is going to be ruled a KP goal kick. Franklin trying to send that back into KP territory, but it's going to go out of bounds. So KP throw in. So Franklin with the loose ball. Nice boot by the Franklin goalie. Nice high kick. Oop, a little trip up there by, can't quite see the team number there, but KP with the free kick. Franklin gets a foot on that ball as it approaches the near side of the field. KP with a big kick right there. That's going to go back to the Franklin goalie, who I believe is Rachel Welch. And she's just going to roll it out to Ava Valella. Ball's going to go back to Welch. And this time she's going to kick it out, but this one's going to be headed right back, although Franklin knocks it out of their territory as they continue to do so and bring it into KP territory right here. Franklin chasing that ball down, and it's going to be kicked out of bounds. So some confusion on the field there, and it should have been a Franklin throw-in, which it was. That one's going to be headed out of bounds, so it's going to stay Franklin ball. I believe that was number 8, Olivia Costa, who threw that ball in. And Franklin can't keep the ball in bounds, so that's going to be a KP goal kick. We at Franklin TV, thank you for tuning into this game. For Franklin residents on either Comcast channel channel 8, Verizon 28, and for you viewers on the internet, you can watch this on YouTube at Franklin Pride TV. So Franklin moving this ball into open space, which they do, and a big boot right there. That's going to send it back into KP territory. Franklin chasing it down. KP with the ball. And Franklin somehow manages to take possession. It's going to be kicked out by Welch. Sending back by KP. Ooh, good try there for KP, but Franklin able to take possession back. Some light pushing right there. That ball's going to be last touched by KP, so Franklin throw in. KP with control. Franklin sends it upfield. Both teams going for headers right there. Nice block right there, but KP able to try to send it downfield. That ball's going to be headed out of bounds by Cassidy Carmignani, I believe. And a KP throw-in is not going to be settled down immediately by KP, so Franklin's sending it upfield. Nice ball movement here. Shot on net is going to be wide of the KP net. One of their first good shots on net in the game. So KP trying to send the ball downfield, and it keeps bouncing back and forth between these two teams. Wouldn't expect anything less from these two Hockomock rivals. Actually, I should point out that they aren't just Hockomock rivals, they are Kelly Rex Division rivals. Again, trying to get that ball into open space, and a shot there by Olivia Costa is going to be deflected out of bounds by KP, so that's going to result in a Franklin corner kick. Cassidy Carmignani with the goal, with the corner. O'Connor tried to get a header on that, but it's a little too high for her to reach it. So KP throw-in. And it's going to stay KP ball. Again, good ball movement here by the Panthers as they send it upfield again. Ooh. Franklin trying to keep it away from KP. Good attempt at a send, but KP's right there to intercept that one. Ball in some open space. Cassidy Carmignani chasing that ball down really quickly. That shot on it is going to be wide of the Franklin net, so that's going to be a goal kick for the Panthers. So a scoreless game at this point, with 29 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the first half. Welch with a kick. And a deep kick that is. Ava Villela chasing that ball down, and she gets it to the opposite side of the field. Franklin sending it upfield. Cross-field play right there. Allie Powderly sends it up. Nice centering pass, but KP right there to head that ball away. But that pass goes nowhere. Franklin recovers. Franklin doing a good job of getting that ball to open space. Nice trick right there, but that's going to be a push by O'Connor, I believe. O'Connor tries to send it into center field. KP chasing this ball down really hard. Again, Franklin gently just moving the ball around for right now. Number 12, Ava Villela moves it off to Allie Powderly. And KP initially has that ball, but then Rachel Welch chasing that ball down. Calculated risk on her part. And Welch succeeds at keeping KP from going any further. Welch looking for someone to either boot or throw the ball out to. Big boot that goes to nearly midfield after a couple of bounces. Kelly O'Connor chasing this ball down. She is working through the KP defense. As KP again tries to send the ball downfield. That ball is going to roll out of bounds, so Franklin throw in. Cassidy Carmignani with the throw in. KP with the kick. They were trying to send it into center field, but doesn't work out that way. But KP may have been pushed around a little too much for their own goods, or they may have been pushed around a little too much by Franklin. So KP with the free kick. A low rolling kick. And a big boot right there that Welch is going to snatch out of the air. And she's going to throw it out to Carmignani. That ball's going to be kicked inadvertently out of bounds by the Warriors. So Panther throwing. Franklin comfortably sending it back to Rachel Welch as they try to settle that ball down. Ava Villela. Ooh, miscommunication right there is going to turn the ball back over to KP. And Welsh is going to let that ball bounce out of bounds, but that's going to be a KP corner kick. So KP with a good opportunity to get a goal on the scoreboard. And here it comes. A low flying kick. And this one's going to be kicked out of bounds by KP, so Franklin goal kick. This is probably the most back and forth match we've seen this entire season. Especially for a Hockomock League opponent. Again, Franklin's only lost one game, and that was an away game at KP. So Franklin hoping to even the score here. KP throwing is going to be knocked up by Franklin. A little further upfield. And KP sending that to the Franklin net. Welch is right there. Welch looking for a player to boot this one out to, and she does. Oof. Players from both teams fall down, but it's going to be ruled a KP penalty, so Franklin free kick. KP trying to steal this ball away from Franklin, which they do. They send that one upfield. Oop, offside call. So Franklin catches a bit of a break there. And Welsh to take the kick at the 15-yard line. KP with a centering pass right there, but Franklin chasing it down. Franklin doing very much the same. Ooh, a nice header, but it doesn't go in the direction that KP was looking for. That's going to be ruled a KP push, so Franklin free kick. And that came at just the right time for the Panthers. KP looking for a header right there, but too high for her. As both teams chase this one down, this one's going to roll out of bounds. Throw in by KP. And KP sending it upfield. That ball is intercepted by the Panthers. KP was on a roll with that one. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds by the Panthers. Franklin's going to let that one roll out of bounds, and it'll be a Franklin goal kick. And she's just going to, and Welch is just going to kick it off to Eiley Sinelli. Franklin with the ball. They try to move it into center field, crossing the field actually. Allie Powderly sends it upfield. Oop, that's going to be stolen away by KP. Franklin regains possession. That ball's going to go out of bounds, so Franklin throw in. Powderly. Franklin trying to center a pass up. They got an opportunity right here, and that's going to be knocked away by KP's goalie. An incredible save right there with a point-blank shot. O'Connor sending that ball across the field. Ooh. Franklin able to stop the ball, but they're not able to continue on with it. That ball's going to stay in bounds. Franklin sending it upfield. An incredible sending play right there, but KP is going to wisely let that ball roll out of bounds, so that'll be a KP goal kick. That ball is going to roll out of bounds, so Franklin throw in. As the ref gets Allie Powderly at the point where the ball officially went out of bounds. Nice pass right there. Franklin trying to work through it. O'Connor chasing this ball down. She's going to go through some heavy KP traffic as she tries to get that ball across the field. And KP right there to pounce on that ball before any serious damage happens. Franklin sending it further upfield. This is actually number 6, Anya Zub, chasing this one down. Franklin with a throw in. Nice centering pass right there. KP is almost able to chase that one down. And Gwen Holland almost with an opportunity to take a shot on net, but KP is going to keep her from doing so. 14 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Score is still 0-0. Cassidy Carmignani with the kick. Nice boot, but it goes right across the field. No one can really get a foot on it until KP does right there. That's going to be ruled a Franklin trip, so KP with a free kick. Franklin slowly starting to let that ball go right to the feet of Welch. And she's going to pass that ball out to one of her teammates. And Franklin just keeping that ball in open space away from the KP defenders. Loose ball. KP trying to settle it down. KP with some good ball movement here, too, to their credit. As Franklin chases that ball down, and they're going to keep KP again from getting another shot on net. Throw in. Very quick throw in. This will be a Franklin throw in now. Sinelli passes it on. KP did have the ball, but it was intercepted by Franklin, although it's going to be turned back over to KP. Number 15, Michaela Thompson. Franklin goal kick. And you can see KP's number 17, Donnell Balunos, right there. But Welch is actually going to kick it off to the left, the far side of the field. KP with a shot right there. Welsh So that goal is actually not going to be counted. KP just kicked it out of Rachel Welch's hands. She had much better control over it than KP thought. So Franklin once again with a very lucky break, right there. $10 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the first half. Both teams edging closer and closer to scoring the first goal of the game here. O'Connor sends that one upfield. And Anya Zub was chasing it down, but it gets a little too far ahead of both her and her KP defenders. So KP with a kick. And KP trying to send it right back. Franklin chasing it down, as is KP. Welsh kicks it out. Sinelli passes it on. And Franklin just sends it upfield. That ball's going to get away, but it's going to be a Franklin throw-in. Little sliding play right there. Moves the ball upfield, but KP with possession as they try to keep that ball in bounds, which they are not able to do, but a deflection is going to keep it as KP possession. Again, good ball movement here by the Warriors. Ali Powderly with a KP Warrior right on her tail, but she's able to let that ball just roll out of bounds. So Franklin goal kick. That's going to be a Franklin KP throw-in, my mistake. Both teams chasing that one down, KP with possession. That will be a Franklin throw-in. KP wasn't too sure about it. They thought they had possession. Franklin keeps that ball in bounds. It's going to be knocked out of bounds by KP. Franklin ball. Seven and a half minutes left to go in the first half. And KP just kicks that ball out of bounds. Franklin throw in. That's a boot into center field. Franklin right there. They can't get a focus shot on net there. And Anya Zub trying to keep the ball away from the Warriors, but the Warriors are able to kick that ball away, and that'll result in a corner kick for the Panthers. So Franklin with another shot. Cassidy Carmignani to take the corner kick. A nice kick right there, but unfortunately it's going to be a little too high for anybody to be able to get a head ball on it. So that will be a KP throw-in. So now he passes it back to Welch. Franklin in kicking it back to Welch, just keeping the ball in open space and away from KP defenders. Carmignani sends that ball upfield. And KP able to kick that ball away. Nice pass right there to Carmignani again. And this one is going to be kicked off to the side of the field, so that's going to be a Franklin throw-in. Ooh, a good attempt there by O'Connor to try to keep that ball in bounds, but unfortunately it's a little too fast for her. So KP throw-in. So a loose ball, Franklin with possession, and they send it right back upfield. Anya Zub passes it on to Kaylin Bruno. Ooh, did not see that play coming. Nice pass right there, but Anya's up right there, but it's a little too far ahead of her. And a nice boot right there, with Franklin trying to send it back. Cross-field play. Ball now in open space. Cassidy Carmignani with 2 players on her tail. Gentle pushing, nothing serious. That's going to be a loose ball out of bounds, so KP throw-in. KP with a substitution, number 13 going out. Oh, and Franklin making a substitution as well. All right, not so much. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds. It's going to stay KP ball. They actually have a free kick after that. Three minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half. Still a scoreless game between these two teams. Big header. That ball's going to roll out of bounds. Off of Franklin. KP wasting no time getting that throw-in done. And that's going to be a Franklin throw-in. That ball's deflected out of bounds. Franklin throw-in. Franklin gets a toe on that one and deflected out of bounds again by KP, so Franklin throw-in. KP trying to send it back upfield. Franklin again just getting the ball into open space. KP regains possession. And Franklin taking it right back. KP attempting to send that ball right into the Franklin net, but it's going to be slightly deflected. Big kick right there. Welch is right there to grab that ball up. Under 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Score clock has the game clock has stopped at this point, so game time is going to be controlled by the refs. KP doing their best to send it upfield, which they do right there, but Welsh is right there again. Big kick there by Welsh. That's headed out of bounds by KP. Anya's up chasing that ball down, but KP's going to just gently kick that ball out of bounds. So Franklin throw in. And again, KP just kicking that ball off to the side of the field. Well, that was a deceptively short whistle by the refs, but that whistle will mark the end of the first half. So, while not an overly aggressive match between these two teams, both teams have had their fair share of shots on net here. And as it stands, we are still at a scoreless game. So, we're going to take a little break. So, we will see you fans at home in just about 9.5 minutes. And we'll see you in that time frame for the start of the second half. Stay tuned. Welcome back for the start of what is bound to be a nail-biting second half of girls varsity soccer between your Franklin Panthers and the visiting KP Warriors. Scores 0-0 as we get ready to start the second half here. Both teams had plenty of opportunities to get shots on net. KP was the closest, but unfortunately for them, their shot that actually went into the net was ruled invalid by the ref. There might have been some inadvertent roughing of the Franklin goalie when that play happened. So the score is 0-0. And the Panthers are ready for the start of the second half here. So it's going to be a bit of it is going to be a thrill to see who scores the first goal here. Oop, that ball is inadvertently jumbled by Welsh, but she's able to recover. She just rolls that ball out. KP with a bit of a push here, but that pass is not going to go to its intended recipient. Anya Zub with the ball here. And KP is going to just try to kick that ball off to the side, the far side of the field. That ball was intended to go into center field, but it's blocked by a KP teammate. And somehow Kelly O'Connor managed to keep that ball in bounds as she brings that ball further downfield. Cross play. KP right there to try to get that ball out of their zone. And Franklin are not able to put a foot on it. Anya's up trying to do some fancy footwork there, but that ball is just going to roll out of bounds. So KP goal kick. And a big boot there. Anya's up, passes it on. And Franklin's sending it upfield. Ball's going to be stolen away by KP as they try to send it upfield and keeping it away from Franklin defenders. And KP able to work that ball around the Franklin defense. That's going to be a light push on KP's part, so Franklin free kick. Free ball right there. KP sending it upfield. Eileen Sinelli sending that ball downfield. O'Connor gets it to Cassidy Carmignani. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds by KP, so Franklin throw in. Loose ball. KP sending it upfield. They try to get that ball across to the far side of the field, but Franklin able to intercept. Anya's up chasing this ball down, but she's not going to get to it in time. As the KP goalie came out at the same time that Anya's up did. O'Connor chasing that ball down, but it's not going to... Well, she's not able to keep it in bounds, but it's going to be a Franklin throw-in, regardless. Ava Valala passes it back. That will be a Franklin throw-in. Carmignani. KP sending it right back. Tiny bit windy here at Piscini Field. But then again, we're on top of the press box for this soccer game, so O'Connor tries to center the ball, which she's able to. Ooh, and Anya's up chasing that ball down, but that one, once again, is a little too far ahead of her as the KP goalie chases that one down. She boots it out. Ava Valella moves it back. Franklin in general is just moving it back to Rachel Welch. Franklin chasing this ball down. They are able to keep it in bounds. And they gently push that ball out of bounds. So KP throw in. And a big boot right there that sends it up to midfield. That's going to be a Franklin throw-in. KP with a throw-in. Carmignani able to center that ball. And Franklin sending it up to the far side of the field. Both teams chasing this ball down really aggressively. KP just settling to kick it out of bounds. And that was Maddie Horton chasing that ball down along with KP. So KP with the free kick. That ball is going to be lost out of bounds by KP, so Franklin throw in. It's going to stay Franklin ball. Number 5, Morgan Lovell, was dealing with some heavy traffic. Oh, Franklin cannot keep that ball in bounds, so that's going to turn the ball over to KP. Number 8, Olivia Costa with a throw-in. That kick is going to send it further upfield. And a trip by KB is going to turn the ball back over to Franklin. Number 5, Morgan Lovell with the kick. Ooh, that's going to go way high. Good intentions, absolutely. But way too high for them to do anything with it afterwards. So, KP goal kick. And as KP moves the ball amongst themselves, trying to keep it in bounds right there, they are able to. Franklin trying to send it back. KP isn't what. KP gets it deflected off Franklin out of bounds, so KP throw in. Franklin just doing their best to try to clear it out. It's deflected out of bounds, so that's going to be a Franklin throw-in. KP just kicking it out of bounds, so Franklin throw-in. And 29 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the game, and still scoreless between these two teams. Franklin with the ball as they try to send it through a lot of heavy KP traffic. And KP trying to keep it in bounds, but they're not able to, but it's a KP throw-in, so it was knocked out of bounds by Franklin. Franklin right here. Again, heavy traffic for the Panthers. As both teams try to settle this ball down. It's going to stay KP possession. Not able to keep that ball in bounds, so KP throw-in. Wells coming out to take that ball. Nice jump right there as Franklin able to send it upfield. KP sending it back. And KP unable to keep that ball in bounds, so Franklin throw-in. Carmignani with the throw-in. Anya Zub Tries to get it back to Morgan Lovell, but not quite able to. As KP tries to move the ball downfield, which they do. Shot on net and a goal. And that's number 17, Heidi Lawrence, who's able to put KP on the scoreboard first. So KP strikes first, and they now lead the game by a score of 1-0. But luckily for the Panthers, they still have plenty of time to get something going here. That's going to be a trip up by KP, so Franklin free kick. And it looks like Morgan Lovell is going to take the kick. Oh, a nice play right there and a header. Wow. Looks like Anya's up with that header. Wow. A little bit of a domino effect there as the free kick by Morgan Lovell goes right to Anya Zub, and she's able to just head it right into the KP net. So we are now tied at 1. So KP now with the ball. That ball is going to be kicked out of bounds by Franklin, so it's going to be a KP throw-in. Big kick right there. Welch is able to jump out and grab that ball before KP can do anything with it. And she throws it out to O'Connor. O'Connor with some potentially heavy traffic right here. Franklin able to keep that ball away from KP. Sinelli passing it along. O'Connor was right there, but the ball was too far ahead of her. Sinelli sends that ball upfield, but it's going to bounce out of bounds. So KP throw in. .24 minutes left to go in the game. Score is tied at 1. Pass right there and a nice send for Anya Zub, but ball again is too far ahead of Franklin for them to do anything with it. KP with the kick. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds, so it's going to be a KP corner kick. Looks like number 7, Tessa Sarker with the kick. And that's a big kick that's going to be headed down by a KP Warrior and is going to go wide of the Franklin net. So that's going to be a goal kick for the Panthers. KP sending it upfield. Kelly O'Connor chasing that ball down, making sure that KP can't go any further with it. Big centering kick. That's going to go a little too far for KP's good. Rachel Welch able to grab that ball up. Takes her time with this kick, which goes past midfield. Anya's up chasing this one down. That's going to be a KP free kick. KP just sends it across the field. A deflection there by Kelly O'Connor that must have hurt a little bit, but as Franklin tries to keep the ball away from their Warrior defenders. So Franklin with the throw-in. Franklin again, or KP again, just kicking that one out of bounds. That pass is going to inadvertently go out of bounds, so KP throw in. And now a Franklin throw in. Franklin slowly moving the ball into KP territory here. That pass does not get to its intended recipient, so KP throw-in. Anya's up, not afraid to chase that ball down when need be. That kick is going to go high and hit the football uprights. So KP goal kick. $19 minutes left to go in the second half. Franklin just doing their best to keep that ball away from KP. And after a Franklin throw-in, it's going to be turned over to KP. Lovell able to move that ball on. And Allie Powderly with a pass right there that's deflected out of bounds by KP, and she gets another throw-in. Ball is kicked into open space. KP again just kicking it out of bounds. It blows my mind how O'Connor's able to keep that ball in bounds sometimes. Shot on net is going to be snatched up by the goalie. Sinelli trying to get to a ball that's being blocked by KP. That shot on net is going to be blocked away by Ali Powderly, so that's going to result in a corner for the Warriors. And we've got number 3, Danny Lamuscio. With the kick here for the Warriors. That one's going to go sailing, and almost too much for Welch to be able to handle, but she jumps up and reaches for that ball. And she's able to maintain control of it. Kelly O'Connor chasing this one down. And she's able to keep that ball inbounds. And it's knocked away by KP, so that's going to be a corner for the Panthers. Oh, my mistake. It's actually just going to be a simple throw-in. Franklin getting it into some open space. And now Franklin chasing that one down as KP moves it out of their territory. Franklin passes it on to Welsh, and she's going to boot it out. Under 14.5 minutes left to go in the game. Score still tied at 1. This has definitely been the most back and forth match that I've seen in this entire season. KP sends that ball upfield, but it's going to be stopped by the Panthers. KP with possession as they try to get it around the Franklin defense. And that kick is going to be blocked by Franklin, so that's going to result in another corner for the Panthers, or for the Warriors, my mistake. Looks like this is number 3 again, Danny Lamuscio. Another big kick. And a head ball that's going to go wide of the left-hand side of the Franklin net, so that's going to be a Franklin goal kick. The way that the players were moving on field, I thought there was going to be a timeout call, but nope. Franklin tries sending the ball upfield, doesn't work out. KP sending the ball across the field. And KP kicking it out of bounds, so it's going to be a Franklin throw-in. Cassidy Carmignani with a throw-in. KP sending it upfield, but Sinelli sending it back. And Ava Villela trying to send it across the field again. That ball's going to stay KP possession. Sinelli. Sinelli passed it on to Gwen Holland, who is going to see the ball be deflected out of bounds by KP. So Franklin throw in. Holland with the throw in. So KP now moving into some open space, and Franklin able to take that ball away very easily, although KP does try to send it upfield. And I believe that was an offside call. So Rachel Welch. With a big boot. KP able to steal this one away. And a big kick right there that's going to go up and over the top of the Franklin net, so that's going to be a Franklin goal kick. So again, we thank you for tuning in to this Franklin girls varsity soccer matchup between Franklin and King Philip. It has been a very back and forth game. Score tied up at 1. Neither goal being scored until the first few minutes of the second half. And that block is going to be picked up by Rachel Welsh. Welsh taking her time. Franklin tries to send that ball upfield. Franklin chasing it down. Nice send, nice send. Oh, and it's going to land right in between the feet of Rachel O'Connor. And Anya Zub right there after a pass by O'Connor. And she's able to send that ball home. So with 9 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the second half, and thus the game, Franklin takes the lead by a score of 2-1. Franklin with a throw-in. Franklin steals that ball away. O'Connor. Not afraid to run into some heavy KP traffic as she was about to right there. That shot's going to be wide. and will result in a KP goal kick. KP throw in. KP eager to try to get the equalizer. That ball's going to be kicked out of bounds, so it's going to stay Franklin ball. KP able to get it by a couple of Franklin defenders, but then Franklin sends it right back. Anya's up with that ball. O'Connor right there after the ball gets by a KP defender. And a kick right there is going to be blocked by a KP defender. Six minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the game. KP with a big boot right there. That's going to send the ball to Eileen Sinelli, and she's going to send that back to Rachel Welch, who's going to switch fields with it. Cassidy Carmignani sending the ball further upfield, and Anya Zub not quite able to chase that ball down. That ball's going to be deflected slightly by Anya Zub and is going to go off to the far side of the field. KP threatening to knock on the door, but Franklin is able to take possession back. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds. Ooh, just barely. O'Connor able to keep that ball in bounds. Franklin able to maintain possession here as they send the ball further upfield, and that's going to go right to the KP goalie. And we are now at the 5-minute point, and game clock is going to be controlled by the refs. Franklin holding on to a 2-1 lead here. Nice head ball right there, but KP is going to just kick it away. Ball's going to stay in bounds thanks to O'Connor. KP anxiously trying to get something going here. Franklin with the ball, and a shot on net and a goal. So Franklin with an insurance goal right there. And I believe that was Anya Zub yet again. Big star of this matchup. as Franklin increases its lead to 3-1. Kelly O'Connor. Oop. She's going through some heavy traffic right here, but she's able to kick that ball upfield, although the ball is intercepted by KP. Free ball. O'Connor chasing this one down, and she's able to take the ball away. She tries to center the ball, but Franklin not able to retain possession as the KP goalie kicks that ball away. That ball is going to be turned over to KP. So with just minutes left to go in the second half, and thus the game, Franklin leading by a score of 3-1. And Franklin with a free kick here. Anya's up chasing that ball down. She knows she can afford to kill time at this point. KP with a deep throw. An almost golden opportunity here again for Anya's up, but this time the KP goalie is going to stop her from going any further with it. O'Connor sends it off to Cassidy Carmignani, who is racing that ball downfield. KP just sending that ball off to the side. Carmignani. Gets the ball to O'Connor, who just inbounds it back to Carmignani, who boots it into center field. And a very close call, but again, ball picked up by the KP goalie. So very little time left here for KP to try to get another shot on net. KP throw in. And that whistle is going to mark the end of the match. An incredibly strong showing by the Franklin Panthers here against their Hockomock Kelly Ricks Division rivals KP Warriors. KP started off with the lead in the second half of this game, but then less than a minute later, Franklin able to score their first goal of the game. Then they scored their second one with 10 minutes left to go, and then they scored the final goal with under 6 minutes left to go in the match. And KP, while having plenty of opportunities to score shots on net, are only able to walk away with the one goal. So Franklin is going to is going to move on with a record of 12-1, and KP will move on with a record of 11-3. So that's going to do it here for our coverage here at Piscini Field. Once again, you're watching Franklin High Girls Varsity Soccer, where Franklin takes this game against the KP Warriors by a score of 3-1. And this is cameraman Chris saying thanks for watching, and we will see you next time, Franklin sports fans. Have a good one.